Across the United States, a silent crisis is unfolding. Homelessness has reached unprecedented levels, turning some of the country's largest cities, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, into modern-day ghost towns. But this isn't just about rising rent or economic downturns. Beneath the surface lies a web of deeper, more unsettling truths that few dare to confront. In today's episode, Unknown Travel takes you deep into America's 10 largest cities, where once thriving streets are now filled with despair. What led to this crisis? And is there a way out? Number 1. New York. New York, a city that was once the dream of millions, now faces the uncomfortable reality of its decline. What was once a bustling metropolis, full of promise, is slowly becoming a shadow of its former self, with entire neighborhoods now struggling to survive. The reasons for New York's transformation are multifaceted, but the most visible are rising housing prices, economic instability, and an influx of immigrants in search of a better life. Housing costs have skyrocketed, pushing out middle-class residents and creating a supply and demand crisis that leaves fewer options for the working class. As of 2025, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan has reached over $4,000 per month, making it impossible for many to afford even basic housing. But housing is just the tip of the iceberg. New York has seen a significant outflow of wealthy residents in recent years, with some estimates suggesting that nearly 300,000 high-income individuals have left the city since 2020. This exodus has had a ripple effect, leading to the shuttering of many small businesses that once catered to the upper echelons of society. Without the spending power of these affluent residents, New York's local economy has weakened, further exacerbating the gap between rich and poor. Central Park, once a symbol of beauty and tranquility, is now dotted with tents, home to those who have nowhere else to go. In Midtown, the story is the same. Once bustling office buildings have turned into makeshift shelters for the displaced as business owners shut their doors, unable to cope with the growing problem on their doorstep. These areas, once symbols of New York's vibrancy, are now shadows of their former selves. Number 2. Los Angeles. Los Angeles is increasingly becoming a city divided. On one side, you have Hollywood, the glamorous heart of the entertainment industry, where luxury cars zip through boulevards and the wealthy revel in their success. Iconic film studios, exclusive parties, and stunning hilltop mansions paint a picture of a glittering city where anything is possible. Yet just a few miles away, a completely different Los Angeles exists. Skid Row, a neighborhood tucked in downtown, is home to an alarming 75,000 homeless individuals, many of whom live in tents or makeshift shelters. This stark contrast between wealth and poverty in the same city exposes a troubling issue that is too often ignored. The image of Los Angeles as the city of angels is increasingly at odds with the grim reality of life on its streets. Skid Row has become the face of Los Angeles's homelessness crisis. In this area, over 75,000 people are living without stable housing, struggling to survive amid a mix of mental illness, addiction, job loss, and the broken promises of social programs. The streets are lined with tents and makeshift homes, and despite the city's attempts to offer help, many still find themselves without shelter or a clear path forward. Adding to the tragedy is the city's response to the crisis. Rather than focusing on long-term solutions to the homelessness problem, the city has resorted to questionable tactics, like playing classical music in subway stations to push the homeless away. This strategy, which was meant to encourage people to leave, has been widely criticized as a cruel and ineffective attempt to mask the issue rather than confront it. Number 3. Chicago, a city on the brink of transformation or decline. Chicago, once renowned as a bustling trade hub and a symbol of American industrial might, is now facing challenges that threaten its future. Over the past decade, rising property taxes in Chicago have had a profound impact on the city's middle-class families. Between 2015 and 2020, property taxes in Cook County increased by an average of 15%, significantly outpacing inflation. As a result, many homeowners and renters, particularly in the suburbs and older neighborhoods, have been forced to leave in search of more affordable living conditions. Chicago's business landscape is also undergoing significant changes. The city's iconic downtown, once home to thriving offices, restaurants, and retail centers, now struggles with empty storefronts and abandoned office buildings. Major companies have opted to leave, relocating to suburban areas or shifting operations out of state entirely. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated this trend, with remote work reducing the need for office spaces. Perhaps the most visible consequence of these changes is the rise in homelessness. Chicago has seen a staggering increase in its homeless population in recent years. In 2024, the city reported over 7,000 individuals experiencing homelessness, a 25% increase from just 5 years ago. As property taxes rise and affordable housing becomes scarcer, more residents are finding themselves without stable living conditions. Tent cities have sprung up near downtown, and the number of people seeking shelter at local shelters and food pantries has reached new heights. This surge in homelessness reflects broader systemic issues, including economic inequality, a lack of affordable housing, and insufficient mental health services. While the city has made efforts to address homelessness through temporary shelters and housing programs, the crisis continues to grow. Number 4. San Francisco. San Francisco, known for its booming tech industry, is witnessing a mass exodus of companies, skyrocketing office vacancy rates, and a rapid decline in real estate prices. These challenges, coupled with rising homelessness and public safety concerns, paint a picture of a city in flux. As of 2024, over 25% of the city's largest tech firms have either downsized their office spaces or moved to more affordable locations. The shift towards remote work, accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic, has left many office buildings empty. According to commercial real estate data, the office vacancy rate in San Francisco has soared to a record 27%, up from just 8% in 2019. This unprecedented rise in vacancies has sparked concerns about the city's future as a business hub, with many wondering if it can recover from this drastic shift in its economic landscape. The departure of these tech giants has not only led to a decrease in demand for office spaces, but also to a loss of jobs that once drove the city's economy. Many workers are now finding themselves either working remotely or relocating to more affordable regions, further contributing to the city's economic decline. In 2024, the number of homeless individuals in San Francisco reached over 10,000, marking a 30% increase over the past 5 years. The decline in affordable housing options, coupled with rising living costs, has left many residents struggling to find stable shelter. Tent encampments are becoming more visible in the city's once bustling neighborhoods, and the streets, once filled with people enjoying the city's vibrant culture, are now deserted in some areas. Adding to San Francisco's woes is the rise in organized looting and the shuttering of major retail businesses. In 2024, reports of large-scale thefts from stores in popular shopping districts, such as Union Square, became common. This wave of criminal activity has caused numerous high-profile retailers to close their doors, exacerbating the city's economic downturn. In fact, several luxury brands and department stores have reported losses in the tens of millions due to theft, forcing them to abandon their San Francisco locations altogether. Number 5. Portland, a city at the crossroads of homelessness and economic struggles. Once a city of promise, Portland now faces a future clouded by rising poverty, the exodus of businesses, and the stark realities of a city struggling to maintain its social fabric. Homelessness in Portland has surged to alarming levels, with no immediate signs of slowing down. In 2024, it was reported that over 4,000 individuals in the city are experiencing homelessness, a 25% increase from just 5 years ago. Among this population, a concerning 25% have been homeless for over a year, struggling with chronic instability and a lack of access to sustainable housing solutions. Furthermore, the situation for women is particularly dire, with approximately 30% of the homeless population now identifying as women. This is a significant rise from previous years, highlighting the growing vulnerability of women in the face of Portland's housing crisis. Women, particularly those facing domestic violence, are increasingly at risk of being pushed to the streets as the availability of safe and affordable housing options dwindles. Tent encampments have become a common sight throughout the city, with neighborhoods once considered desirable now marked by visible signs of social decay and economic instability. The streets of Portland, once bustling with activity, have become areas where many feel unsafe, contributing to the overall sense of decline and uncertainty. Number 6. Baltimore, a city struggling to find its path forward. One of the most visible signs of Baltimore's decline is its deteriorating infrastructure. Roads, riddled with potholes and crumbling bridges, are a common sight across the city. According to the 2024 American Society of Civil Engineers report, Baltimore's infrastructure has received a rating of D+, one of the lowest in the nation. The city's roads in particular have been described as some of the worst in the region, with potholes causing traffic disruptions and accidents. Much of the city's tax revenue is funneled into administrative costs and projects with short-term benefits, leaving vital sectors like education, healthcare, and public safety underfunded. As a result, residents face outdated schools, overcrowded healthcare facilities, and limited access to affordable housing. While some city leaders have pushed for a more equitable distribution of funds, budgetary constraints and political gridlock have made real change difficult. In 2024, the number of homeless individuals in the city rose to over 5,500, a 20% increase over the past 3 years. Tent encampments are becoming more common, and shelters are overcrowded, leading to a deterioration of public spaces and rising public health concerns. Number 7. Detroit, a city in crisis, struggling to find its way back. Once a beacon of American innovation, the city has fallen into disrepair, plagued by poor management, mass migration, and the decline of its once dominant automotive industry. With an estimated 40,000 abandoned homes and factories, Detroit's landscape is marked by empty buildings and abandoned neighborhoods. The collapse of the automotive industry, which had long been the heart of Detroit's economy, left the city with high unemployment rates and a shrinking tax base. As major automakers downsized or moved production overseas, thousands of workers lost their jobs, causing a ripple effect that impacted local businesses and services. The decline of these once thriving neighborhoods has led to a host of social issues, including increased crime and a growing homelessness crisis. In 2024, the number of homeless individuals in Detroit reached nearly 3,500, with a significant increase in those experiencing chronic homelessness. The closure of public services and the lack of affordable housing have left many without shelter, compounding the city's problems. Number 8. St. Louis, a city struggling to adapt. Street. Louis' decline began in the latter half of the 20th century as major industries, including manufacturing and steel production, moved overseas or collapsed. The city's once thriving industrial base was slowly dismantled, and thousands of jobs were lost. This economic shift, combined with suburbanization and deindustrialization, led to a population exodus. From a peak population of 850,000 in 1950, St. Louis has seen a drastic drop to under 300,000 by 2024. This shrinking population has created a vicious cycle. Fewer people means less tax revenue, which in turn affects the city's ability to invest in infrastructure, education, and services. As businesses left and residents followed, St. Louis became a shell of its former self, with entire neighborhoods abandoned and vacant lots taking over once thriving areas. The economic struggles in St. Louis have led to a significant increase in homelessness. In 2024, the homeless population in the city reached nearly 1,500, a 30% rise over the past 5 years. Abandoned homes, crumbling infrastructure, and a lack of affordable housing have pushed many into precarious living conditions. Tent encampments, often found in areas where industry once thrived, now serve as a stark reminder of the city's failure to address both its economic decline and its growing homelessness crisis. Number 9. Seattle. From tech hub to homeless crisis. Seattle, home to tech giants like Amazon and Microsoft, has long been celebrated for its dynamic economy. However, recent years have brought sharp declines in quality of life, as high taxes, a growing homeless population, and rising crime levels have started to erode the city's prosperity. With the closure of major retailers and the loss of its reputation as a tech hub, Seattle's future seems increasingly uncertain. Seattle's rapid growth and rising cost of living have been accompanied by an alarming increase in homelessness. As of 2024, nearly 12,000 individuals are experiencing homelessness in King County, a 25% rise from 5 years ago. Many of these individuals live in tents or makeshift shelters scattered throughout the city's neighborhoods, particularly around downtown and the SoDo district. The visible presence of homelessness has become a key concern for residents and businesses alike. The high cost of living in Seattle, driven in part by rising taxes, has worsened the situation. Property taxes in King County increased by 10% in 2023 alone, further burdening residents who are already struggling with the high costs of housing and utilities. With wages failing to keep up with housing prices, many are left with few options but to leave the city or face the harsh realities of life on the streets. This has led to a cycle where those at the bottom of the economic ladder are increasingly pushed out of the city, while the wealthy thrive in the areas of the city that remain prosperous. Number 10. Philadelphia, battling poverty and homelessness in the heart of the city. As of 2024, Philadelphia's homeless population has surged to nearly 8,000 individuals, many of whom live in areas like Kensington. The city's economic struggles, combined with increasing poverty and social tensions, have left many wondering if Philadelphia can ever recover its former glory, or if it is destined to remain in a cycle of decline. Kensington has rapidly become one of the most visible symbols of Philadelphia's struggle. Once a busy industrial area, it is now overrun with homelessness and crime. The number of people living in tents or makeshift shelters along the streets has increased dramatically, with many battling drug addiction and mental health issues. In 2024, local organizations reported that more than 2,000 individuals are living unsheltered in Kensington, and the area remains a hotspot for substance abuse, particularly opioids. Across Philadelphia, poverty is on the rise, deepening the divide between the city's affluent and struggling communities. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2024, about 25% of Philadelphia's population lives below the poverty line, a number significantly higher than the national average. This growing inequality is driving frustration, leading to protests and public demonstrations calling for better access to affordable housing, healthcare, and jobs. These social issues are being felt across the city, from neighborhoods like Kensington to the more prosperous districts downtown. Thank you for following our exploration of homelessness in major American cities. To continue discovering more thought-provoking content, be sure to subscribe to Unknown Travel. Your support means a lot, and we look forward to sharing more soon.